Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening to Horror and Heels. If you're wondering how we're making this podcast, we're doing it through Anchor. You can go to Anchor FM to get started. It's free. They have creation tools that allow you to do it right on your phone or your computer. I edit. I'm actually recording this while I'm in my car waiting to go to my next client. They make life so easy. They even distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple, other sites. It helps you upload if you want to make a Patreon or anything. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I know zero about formatting and doing this and that and the other thing, and Anchor makes it so easy. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. If you want to learn more, go to the Anchor app or anchorfm.com to get started. Thank you and have a great day. Okay. Welcome back to Horror and Heels. I'm your host, Alicia.
And I'm your host, Jen.
And today we're talking about the 2011 Fright Night. If you listened to the last episode, you know that we liked the original, thought it was good, enjoyed the acting, would not have boned the vampire. No, would not have.
How is that your name is Jerry, like, as a vampire? Like, you couldn't even get a sexy name? Like,
well, they talk about that in the new one a lot.
Yeah.
They make fun of it a lot, so that's good. Yeah, David Tennant. Make sure to note that. Love the new sexy Peter Vincent. Love him. Well, I love David Tennant.
We'll get there, because I was going to say that's probably my favorite. I'm not even like a big Doctor Who person, but David Tennant.
Yeah.
It's one of the first episodes I saw of Doctor Who. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I like him. And I recognized David Tennant when I saw it. I was like, is that the Doctor?
Yes.
He is so cute to me. I don't even know. David Tennant, if you ever hear this and you want to come on our show.
And if you have not been watching Good Omens on, I want to say you can watch that on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime. Yes, I'm correct. I have so many streaming services. It always takes me.
I have all the streaming services.
Yeah, I have them
all. Like every last one.
So Amazon Prime, if you haven't been watching Good Omens, based on the book by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett and starring one Mr. David Tennant. And, David Tennant is Crowley. He's the demon, one of the demons, the main demon. I mean, geez, it's got a really good looking cast, guys. So for no other reason, I mean, it's got John Hamm. Yeah, I was gonna say it's got John Hamm. It's got Jack Whitehall. It's got Nick Offerman. It's got Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Satan, and he plays him well. Oh. So yeah, give it a watch if you haven't. Brian Cox from Succession plays Death. So that guy's just doing every show now. That's just happening. Yeah, so give that a watch. Right. If you are a Tennant fan, you will enjoy him as Crowley. And it always gives me supernatural feels. I gotta tell you, high on my list of demons, I would bang Crowley, aka Mark Sheppard from Supernatural. Very high on my list of demons that I would
never ever bang a demon, but the actor I understand.
No, because here's the thing. Did you watch all of Supernatural?
No, I'm on like season 1.
Oh, okay. I won't spoil it for Jen then. But people who have seen it all, so you haven't even gotten to Crowley yet.
That means nothing to me.
He's the king of hell.
Oh, that's
and he is just the funniest, the best. He helps the boys and doesn't help the boys, and like it's so funny the way like when Dean or Sam call for him and he'll begrudgingly show up and be like,
Was he like?
Guys,
Do you remember?
not your puppet. Not
Do
your
you remember
puppet.
Lauren from Angel?
Yes.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah. He's like,
I loved him. He was awesome.
Like, why am I involved in this again? But yes, so when you get to Crowley, you're gonna have big feels. You're gonna understand it.
Okay.
You're gonna understand like the Crowley love.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
But let's get into Fright Night.
Yeah, sorry guys. Once again, big
tangent. We get tangented. Tangented? Is that a word? It's a word now.
And so we're copywriting that. Don't steal it, Webster, you word-stealing bitch.
Yeah.
Webster really came in hard on them. Jeez.
All right. Cheers.
Well, they're not going to be a sponsor. Maybe the gin you're drinking will be a sponsor. Who are you drinking?
It's Bombay Sapphire.
Oh, because in case y'all didn't know, Jen's a fancy bitch.
Mm-hmm. Fancy ass bitch.
Yeah.
Can't forget the ass. So okay, Fright Night 2011. One thing I want to start off by saying is that I like that they it's a remake, but they kind of answered some questions that the first one didn't really, that had some kind of gaps in it. Like his relationship with Ed. You get more of the sense of they used to be friends. Like the first one, you were kind of like, I thought they were best friends, but they're not acting like best friends. And then he didn't really care that he got turned into a vampire, because usually he'd be really broke up about it. And I liked they kind of got more into their relationship.
Yes.
And he had a reason, like he was trying to be a cool kid with the other guys. So they kind of expanded on that relationship more. And I think
and I think, I'm not even so sure that he wanted to be cool, because he's never really is cool. I think he just outgrew the things that him and Ed used to do, and Ed didn't. And that's it would be like if you're a girl, right?
Yeah.
And you're now 17, and your friend who's also 17 still wants you to play with Barbies.
I knew.
You're not trying to be cool.
You're just over it.
On.
Yeah.
And so I did feel bad, because I felt like Charlie was getting a lot of flack from Ed for that.
Right.
But it's like, no, Ed, you could be with me.
Come hang out with us and do the stuff
we want to do. You're saying you still want to do this other stuff, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that.
Yeah. He just he outgrew the friendship.
It seemed like Ed just didn't want to find a middle ground and just wanted to blame Charlie, and I don't like that.
No, I don't like that, but I like that for the movie. I like, because it made Charlie not an asshole, because if it had been that way, then you'd just be like, well, Charlie's just being an asshole because he's just trying to be a cool kid. So I do like the way you described it. Yes. It's not that he was trying to be cool, but it was just, we're not into the same things anymore. Like, I'm dating a girl, like I'm like trying to hanging out with these other guys who I like to hang out and do stuff with them. It wasn't about, I'm just ditching you because you embarrassed me. It was like, I'm just not into that stuff anymore. And I think I loved that layer to that relationship. And I just thought it was good. It was good the way that they did it. And who is that guy? He's Mick he's McLovin. McLovin, yes, there you go. But we need to do a moment of silence for Anton Yelchin. That guy. That's, you know what happened, yeah? Oh, okay. Well, he is no longer with us. He was in a tragic accident at home, the actor. So this is like years ago.
Charlie.
So you can look it up. Yes, Charlie. Anton Yelchin. He was in Star Trek.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. Yeah, so.
Well, rest in peace, Anton, and well, good, because when I talk about you now, I won't feel bad.
I won't have to worry about you hearing about it.
All right. I mean, because let's be honest, I'm going to go real hard. Colin Farrell, you're hot. Love to look at you. Ooh, it was rough.
Yeah.
But actually, Colin Farrell said in an interview, this was one of his hardest roles, because Jerry has no decency. So there was nothing for Colin Farrell to ground himself to in the character. And once he said that, I kind of understand. And Colin Farrell also said that he felt that Jerry came off as too much of a sexual predator. He asked for revisions in the script and he did not get them. So that being said, like when I was watching it through that lens, it's interesting because those were the scenes in which he is being like that really fell flat for me in my acting. And now in his acting. And now understanding that he really didn't want that. He didn't feel that makes a lot more sense.
And that's an interesting thing because I know actors like want to see the point of view of their character. So they want to see that good part of their character where they can relate to and say, okay, this is why I'm a good guy. Because the bad guy, to them, they're the protagonist, and they're the ones that are doing something good. So I could see how if you don't see that in your character, that's kind of tough.
Right.
That's interesting.
Now, loved the cold open. I liked.
Oh man, we jumped right into it, didn't we?
Yes. Also, what movie's opening scene did the next scene kind of remind you of when they're going through the development?
Would that be Poltergeist?
And everybody's playing on the sidewalks and everything. It felt very Edward Scissorhands to me.
Oh, see, and I haven't seen that in years, but I could see that, yes.
Yeah.
Like suburban, like fake.
Yep.
Yeah.
First of all, new, and also, didn't you know immediately we were just going to get a lot more of this mom?
Yeah.
Because you put a powerhouse like Toni Collette in.
Oh, yeah.
You're not wasting that character. You're not Drew Barrymoring her. Like, you're
going to use her.
You're utilizing her.
Yeah.
And actually, after seeing her in this, I've put off Hereditary, and now I'm like, why did I put that off? And I'll be watching that this week.
I can't even talk to you about Hereditary, but anyway.
So
what?
So love her. I thought it was so funny when she's like, "Hey, don't leer at the neighbor," and he's like, "Well, she puts the writing on her ass, Mom. I'm gonna read the writing on her ass." And I was like, "Wow."
I want to have that kind of like with my teenage son. Like I want him to be able to talk to me. Like, cool. I'd rather you talk to me than hide stuff.
I mean, I gotta be honest, we don't have any, well, the girlfriend called her a stripper. Charlie referred to her as a go-go dancer. We don't have any of those on my block, so I'm not sure that TJ and I will ever get the opportunity.
Oh, I'm sorry for you. If you'd like, I'll find one and have him moved over there so you can have that bonding moment.
That'd be lovely.
Also,
could have it move into the barking neighbor's house.
Okay.
They got 3 dogs that just bark 24/7, and we moved them out. That'd be fantastic.
I would do that because I hate barking dogs and crying children are the two just the worst. Like where they're just like screaming. I can't with that and barking.
Here's the thing. With a baby, if I see the parent is, because I'm a parent.
Yeah.
If I see the parent is making an attempt.
Effort, yes.
But, okay, I will give you a prime example. One time I'm in an airport. Plane is delayed. There is one kid. There are 2 kids that are losing their shit. One parent we're all ready to protest against because she's doing nothing about the situation. The kid's just running around screaming its goddamn head off.
Oh, no.
The other kid is equally losing it, but the mom is like, here, do you want crayons? Do you want a coloring book? Do you want your blankie? Do you want this snack? Okay, let's go for another walk. Like, that parent is being proactive. We were all on that parent's side. The parent that has checked out, nobody was on his side.
Yeah, you can't.
And listen, here's the thing. If your dogs were barking but it's literally all, I understand dogs bark. I'm not a horrible person.
Right.
But they're barking because you're leaving them outside unattended for hours. To me, that's actually cruel to the animal. Like, stop doing that.
Why do you have them? Like, they're for affection, mutual affection, and companionship. If you're just going to have it outside and never look at it or talk to it, why have the pet?
I mean, thankfully, there's 3 of them, so they've got each other.
Yes.
And therefore, 3 times the noise.
All the barking. Cool.
All the barking.
Anyway,
so,
back to
the movie. Here we go again.
I loved the stakes. Like, she had straight up stakes for the
foreshadowing for sure.
Oh yeah,
foreshadowing.
Love that. Let's see, and then she drives up with the car. He doesn't have a car.
The new Amy, way too hot for Charlie.
Yeah, which is what I think they were trying to go for with the first one. But
we think so. Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get, maybe not. I don't know. But also, I love the difference in 17-year-olds from 85 to 2011.
Yeah.
So much more sexy. Like, back then, you wanted the lead girl to be like she dressed like a boy.
Right.
Covered everything up to the neck, long skirts, long sleeves, button-down shirts, like basically dressed like a 12-year-old boy. No sexual appeal at all. And then you fast forward to 2011 and Amy's like hot. She's got the crop tops on, the belly shirts, like the hair, and you're just like, oh wow, things have changed. But
I will tell you that in the first one, the actress that played Amy was actually a very modest person. The scene in which you see like all the way down her back.
Yeah.
She insisted on them taping. Her boobs are all taped.
Duct tape. Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want the crew to see her. And then, she also played Marcy Darcy on Married with Children, where she was basically just Amy grown up. Because she's the same kind of stuffy chick. Although I guess she did loosen up by the end. Hopefully she kept some of that vampire sex appeal even after what's his name died. Jerry.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because you want to hang on to that. I thought it was interesting that Ed was the believer in this version. And
yes, love him.
Jumped right into knowing Jerry was a vampire. They were like, let's skip all the expose stuff and just get right into it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, dude, your neighbor, vampire.
Yeah, like immediately.
Now here's the thing. I don't know if I love new Eddie or I love the actor that plays Eddie so much. We did allude that is McLovin, but just for people who may not know who that is.
If you don't know who that is.
Right. Yeah. But in case you don't,
I'm not even a big fan of that movie, and I still know who it is.
I'm sorry, Christopher, because I know I'm going to butcher your last name, and please don't kill me for this. Christopher Mintz-Plasse. And if I did that right, I'm really impressed with myself.
If you did that right, that's pretty sexy.
And also, Christopher, what I love about him is he is one of those men who is dorky, but in such a hot way. He is. Yeah.
He owns it. He doesn't. Yeah. He's not trying to be something else.
Yeah, like he wears the glasses. Like he is going for
Clark
it.
Kent. Like he's Clark Kent, ready to be bust out of Superman any moment.
And the guy who plays Mark is Dave Franco.
Oh yeah, I recognize him.
If you've never seen anything that he's in, he is in Now You See Me.
He's in 21 Jump Street.
Nerve, Now You See Me Too. So he's in a lot of stuff, and I thought they could have given him a little more in this movie because he is very good. I felt like maybe.
Dude, that happens to him a lot. Did you see Underground 6? Sorry, spoiler. If you haven't seen it and you want to, skip ahead 15 seconds. Have you seen 6 Underground?
No.
He's in that short. Like you think, oh cool, he's in this. Because I like him as an actor, so I was like, awesome, he's in this. And that was short lived. So I was like, damn it.
I gotta be honest, he's in it. I mean, Oh, okay. Now I know what crazy. He was also in Greek, which was a TV show
yeah,
that
I
I
did
used to
background on
watch.
the show.
Yeah. So, um, so very good cast, very good cast. Really liked
You approve of
Imogen,
this
who
cast?
plays Amy. Love Toni Collette. We already said that. So this Ed is more lovable, more proactive, way less annoying.
Like I would say, not
I
annoying.
understand that he, like, people still thought with like the LARPing and stuff, he was still being silly. I think he just didn't want to pivot because there are many people who enjoy LARPing and have friends outside of that community and then keep friends inside of that community.
Right. I mean,
So he could have had the best of both worlds, and he just seemed a little, I don't know though. We met his parents, so poor Ed. Honestly.
Poor Ed. I actually felt bad for Ed in this one. Although you don't run into the house and then turn to gloat at the vampire. Like I would have ran into the house and then just kept running.
Right.
Yeah. I don't turn around to gloat at a vampire because
No.
No, that's not happening for that very reason. Because he was like, it's not your house, it's empty, which brings us back to what we were talking about last episode, which was what constitutes an invitation into a house, or what constitutes a house. Because, like, can you be in a tent?
Well, apparently, from what Colin Farrell said, is since the house is vacant, doesn't have anybody living in
Right.
it does not constitute a house.
And it wasn't his house, so.
Right.
So I guess a home would be better, I guess. Which again, though, so could he, like, come into your tent? Could he come into your car? Is it just a house? Like, what are the...
Well, definitely car, because you see him kill them in the car.
That's true.
So...
He gets Ed pretty quick, and then we don't really see him for a while. Like,
well, I mean, that makes sense. It takes a while for you to turn.
Yeah.
So timeline-wise, that makes
Well, and I guess they were trying to make it like...
And the other movie, timeline-wise, it didn't make any sense that Ed turned that quickly. Didn't make any sense.
No, but, I mean, Amy turned pretty quickly. Why did it not make sense that he turned that quickly?
Because there's usually, like, a growth process to turning.
Yeah.
You see it. She didn't have... Amy was... both Amy's turned, but they had no powers yet. Yeah. When I'm saying turning, I'm saying they've gone through all the pain.
The transition.
The transition. The blood is fully transitioned. Everything has happened. So when we see Ed in this movie, he is fully transitioned. Like he said, he's like, I've got these powers. I can do this.
Yeah.
The first night he had been bitten, and you do see it with Amy in both of these, they're too weak to physically do anything.
Yeah, they're not actually
doing
anything.
Yeah. So, I wrote something about the mama, and I can't for the...
Oh, her and the
Oh, I wrote down to fuck. That's what I wrote, DTF, and I love it.
Oh, totally. And then I love
listen, Colin Farrell's your neighbor. You should be...
Oh my god.
All the time.
Jeez Louise, I can't even with Colin Farrell. Like, I could look, like, if he wanted to just bite me in the neck, I'd be like, well, I guess this is how I go.
I love when Charlie and Ed are talking, and Charlie just throws shade at Twilight, which is semi-throwback to the first movie, in which they throw shade at Jason and
Jason, the slashers. Yep.
Yeah, the whole slasher thing. So I thought that was
true. I didn't catch that parallel. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throwing shade in this movie.
I do enjoy that Ed's the one who's, like, on the hunt this time.
Right. And from the beginning, like, we jump right into... I love when movies just get in, and we don't have... Especially horror. Like, when I'm watching horror, like, just get to the scary stuff. I don't need character development. I don't need full backstory. Like, I get it. I get what their stories is. It's fine what their stories are. It's fine, but just get to it. And this movie really gets into it real fast. We don't
Now,
have
Ed, I don't know why your mother never taught you this. Don't call another man's woman a skank.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't do that.
Ever. Rude.
Not a good look. It's gonna get you punched. I mean,
In Ed's
I can
defense,
offer.
he hasn't
And it
had,
does.
he hasn't had any friends that have had women, so
Right, yeah.
he doesn't know that that's not proper etiquette.
So Wade the bully is bullying Eddie. And it's funny because up until then I really liked Wade. Like, I thought he was just like, I think he's gonna talk to us. Like,
You mean,
and even when Ed was like, "Don't you have some women to go fuck or sluts to go fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do."
he's like, yeah, I do.
I do, actually. Sorry, I don't got time for this. Like, he wasn't even really like engaging with him or being rude. He was just like,
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I do.
yeah, like, you're being silly.
Like,
That's
I'm
what
trying to insult you, but that's exactly what I want
all of us are gonna do. We're all gonna go fuck women because we're 17, and that's what 17-year-olds do.
Me and my brother have determined that going with someone's insult, quote unquote insult, is the best way to get back at it. Like, because then they can't do anything. Like, what are you gonna say to that? He was like, yeah, I do. Now what? You can't say.
So I did love the loophole, like we talked about with the abandoned house. I thought that was cool. He's like, I don't need you to invite me in. This isn't your home. This one's abandoned.
I like how he pretended. He was like, oh no, and then he was like, oh, psych.
So I was waiting for out of touch parents to come along because Toni Collette seems pretty with it.
She's, oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Mama versus pretty with it. So we get that in Eddie's parents, who just have no clue what's going on in life.
Yeah, that always, as a kid, that bothered me because I was like, I would rely on my parents to keep me safe, like,
right,
or at least be on my team. So the thought of having parents that totally like Nancy's mom in freaking Friday the 13th, that's terrifying because she has no grounding. She has no, like, she's the child, and to me, if I'm in a dangerous situation and I'm the child and I'm the parent to my parent, that I wouldn't be able to find. I'd be like, I don't even know.
They were like, oh, Eddie leaves early. You know how he is. You didn't notice he didn't come home last night?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So now we get to the scene that would get my son grounded. Let's not give away my beer. I just worked a hard day. When I get home, I'm going to need that beer. I am going to need my beer. Do not give away my booze, kid.
Don't give away my beer. Ever.
And do not give away my beer to the man that I want to hook up with so that he can hook up with the town go-go dancer. Don't do that.
Same team, dude. Same team. Like, I need you to not be liquoring up his little fling.
My least favorite line was when, and I really do enjoy that Colin Farrell was like, no, I hated these lines. And he's like, you know, I got a girl coming over tonight. Some women need to be managed. No, we don't. And unless I'm at a job and that's literally your title, and even then I probably don't.
You know what? I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to say there are some women who need to be managed, and they like that stuff.
Right, they want to.
They need
to because they want to.
Exactly.
That's completely different. If that's what you enjoy, if that's the dynamic that works for you, that is fine. It's okay to want to be managed, but you do not need to be managed.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are two wants versus needs, okay? Wants versus needs. Do I want yet another Stephen King throw blanket? Yes. Do I need another Stephen King throw blanket? Also, yes.
Both, see? They can be one and the same.
So clearly he wants to bang, Jerry wants to bang the mom and Amy.
Kind of good in that. I'm not mad at him.
Call a guy's mom right to his face.
Wait, he what?
He calls Mrs. Brewster, because we never get her first name. It's just Mrs. Brewster. Which I think still in 2011 is so cute that like
I like the
the
calling.
high schoolers were still calling that.
Right, the respect. Because that's how I was raised. Like,
Yeah.
I sound like an
TJ's
old
friends.
person, but I still like. It took me forever to realize, hey, I'm an adult. I can call adults that I meet now by their first name. It took me forever to get into that mentality because I was so used to being younger and calling adults Mr., Mrs., Miss.
Yeah.
I like that. And I was looking forward to that in high school. I was like, oh, cool. When I'm an adult, then kids will call me, and now they don't do that. And I'm like, dang it. I missed it. But
and
yeah.
on the plus side, since I'm feeling very old these days, when someone calls me ma'am, I'm like, I'm gonna bitch slap you. Don't do it, kid. Don't.
See, ma'am, I don't like. Ma'am is that's a little too
Well, now I gotta tell you something. If I'm wearing my ring, I don't mind it as much because that is the literal definition, and it feels less ageist to me than when I have my ring off. Is that crazy?
No, sounds good.
Probably. No, I'm okay with this.
I don't have a ring, so I don't know what that feels like.
I wear mine so infrequently that. And I think that only goes back to, we're going on a little tangent. My first job ever, I was 16. Called this woman who was 90 if she was a day with a ring that would have made Zsa Zsa Gabor jealous on her finger, ma'am. And this little lady was like, how dare you call me ma'am? I'm not that old. And I wanted to be like,
you're like,
well, Heaven's Waiting Room is calling. Why aren't you living in Florida? But moving on.
Like, you're pretty old. I don't know if you looked at
I got so upset, and I'm like, but you're wearing a wedding ring. And she goes, so? And I go, well, that's the literal definition.
Yeah.
Like, ma'am comes from madame, which literally means married woman in French. So she just stopped, and I was like, she's like, she just turned and walked away from me, and I went to my manager, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I think I really upset that client. And she's like, why? What did you do? And I'm like, I called her ma'am. She goes, the 90-year-old? I go, yeah. She just started laughing. She's like, since this is your first job, I know you're probably really scared you're going to get in trouble. You're not going to get in trouble. It's fine. I'm like, but what if she complains? She's like, it'll be fine. I'm like, okay, thank you. That was awesome. Yeah, no, I had really good bosses there. So the blubbering cops, of course, fall for the vampire's charm. Now, so this is just...
Oh, yeah, because what does he say? He says, yeah, I made her scream. He says, yeah, I made her scream. I was like, ooh.
So vampire pheromones work on everyone? Like, that's my question. Like,
no, I don't think that wasn't pheromones. That was just dudes being freaking dudes. Because, like I just said, he was like, yeah, I made her scream. And they're like, yeah. Like, it was like like a bro moment kind of thing. It wasn't... He wasn't charming.
That had nothing to do with, like, the vampire charm. It was just all boy charm. Okay.
Dudes being dudes. And, I mean, he's
probably hundreds of Vegas cops. What really can we... I'm sorry.
He's probably hundreds of years old, so he knows his way around authority. I'm sure he's had a run-in with authorities.
Sure.
His couple hundred years.
Yeah. Now, also, he says at the end 400. Just so you...
Okay, there you go. See, I said a few hundred.
Horrible paint job on those windows. You can see through them. Horrible paint job.
Like I said, if I'm a vampire, screw the paint. I'm not with paint. I'm cementing that shut.
Now listen, I get upstairs. I get into that weird hallway. You know what I'm doing? I'm recalling 911 and I'm going, listen, I have been locked in my neighbor's upstairs. And come on in, TJ. I'm going to say goodnight to you. Say night-night to Mama Dukes. Love you, TJ. I love you. Night-night? Night-night. Say bye-byes. You want to say bye-byes to the audience? Okay. No. Sorry, everyone. That was my 7-minute. That's my son is going to bed, which means we've been recording for over 2 hours now. Fine. We'll cut it in post. We're not cutting it in post. It was adorable. So I would be like, listen, I'm at blah, blah, blah. I am locked in a room. He has left the house. Come now. Then you get Dolores out, you get yourself out, and his ass is getting arrested.
Right.
That's all.
Don't mention vampire. Don't mention, like...
Nothing. Just say, my neighbor has locked me in a room. Exactly. And then you take the key, and you lock yourself in one of those rooms. Why? I'm failing to see the problem here.
Yeah. Yep.
Failing to see the problem. Poor Dolores. Now, that was a fantastic death. We think she's so sad. We think she's going to be saved. We think such hope. And then all of a sudden we realize, nope, it's daylight and she is.
And she's already got vampire blood. And she's like, thank you for saving me. And then she runs outside and just poof. That actually scared me. I've seen the movie before, but it's been a while. So when it happened, I was like, no. I felt so sad. I was like, oh, man. Although I was the actress, I was like, man, can you imagine? I'd be like, ooh, Colin Farrell is going to be all in this area. Yes, please. But then he dropped her.
What we're saying, people, is if you're making another vampire movie with Colin Farrell,
please.
Jen is volunteering to be a victim.
Like, she's literally volunteering. Like, you don't even have to pay me. Like,
yes,
I will be on set.
And she's in the LA area. She's in the LA area. I just want you all to know that.
Golly gee whiz.
So now, once again, we see him go.
Wait. Sorry. Back to that scene, and then his smile, like that smirk that he gets, because he knows that he was in there and he tried to save her. Mm-hmm. He just stands there and just eats the apple, like, you little punk. Sorry, I love that. I thought that was awesome.
That was great.
Okay, keep going.
So now, I know I'm jumping because I just love David Tennant so much that I want to.
I know, it's fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. So do I.
So Peter Vincent, once again, I don't know that the town vampire magician would be my go-to person. Okay. Now, at least we get a little bit more in that they say he's a vampire historian. He has studied this for years. So this is a little bit more...
To me, it's more believable because he's got background in it, and he goes to the website and he sees that it says that he studies this stuff.
Right.
Like, he's actually into the lore.
Right.
So I was like, that, to me, that was enough for a 17-year-old to be like, I gotta go talk to this guy. That was enough information for him to be like, okay, he's somebody that I can talk to. Also, it's Vegas. You know there's all kinds of weird people in Vegas.
True. I love his way of getting in, right? Like, he's
right, he steals the badge.
But here's my thing.
I need to do that for Colin.
Once again, there's no way. Okay, listen, I was willing to forgive the 1985 going through the kitchen, no bouncer on the other side, getting into the overage club scene in the first movie. There is no way on God's green earth that you are in an LA casino and you got on Las Vegas, sorry, and you got onto the casino floor. Not on God's green earth would that have happened. They do not allow minors on the casino floor. No, and they're real strict about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, real strict. Like,
although he walked through, he didn't gamble.
No, because I gotta tell you, unless the layouts down there are different, up here, when I go to like Mohegan and Foxwoods, any of the entrances for the gaming floors, so like you'd be able to walk around the outside, go to any of the buffets and stuff, the shows, etc. but the gaming floor entrances have a guard right there checking IDs.
Oh, they don't. Wait, have you ever been to Vegas?
I have not been to Vegas.
Oh, yeah, no, in Vegas, like, 'cause it's a family place, so there's minors like they can walk like it's not that open, but minors are around because it's supposed to be a family.
And there's no one stopping them from stepping on a gaming floor.
No, they can be on the gaming, like, let me think. I haven't been a minor for a while. But as far as I remember, like, it's pretty free. They only really look at you when you're actually trying to play. As far as I know, that's the only time when you draw attention is when you're actually trying to play.
Yeah,
if you're not doing that, then there's no, like, super guardage anywhere around the casino.
No, here down in AC or up in I can't really remember with AC, but I know in Foxwoods and Mohegan Suns there are people standing to stop you.
Yeah, no, I don't, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, it's pretty free to walk around.
Interesting. If anybody's listening and they're from the Vegas area and they can
verify
expound on this a little better for us, please feel free to send us an email.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm fine with y'all fact checking me. Do it.
Right. Please do.
So I enjoyed that he gets his way up to the apartment. Now is that his wife? I mean, I loved her.
It's his like lover person.
I mean, but she, like, I love her. I love that she was watching.
Her attitude.
I loved her. Now this guy is just drinking straight up Midori.
Oh my God.
Stop. And I gotta tell you, I like to throw a little Midori in something.
But you don't just.
I'm not just drinking.
I saw that too.
Forget about a hangover. The sugar coma. Like, you would have.
It's literally bright green. Like, nothing that is bright green should be drunk by itself. Like,
now, here's the thing. At first, I was like, do they want us to believe? Because at first, I only saw it in the cup, right? So I'm like, do they want us to believe he's just drinking absinthe? Because, you know, absinthe has that color.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then you see him pouring it, and then eventually he just gives up the charade of the cup. Yeah, and then you see it's a Midori bottle. Like, it says Midori on it. I'm like, oh no, bro. I'm like, my stomach got sick. My stomach would have gotten less sick if that was straight absinthe.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
True.
Midori's, anything that says that's that green, you know, is gonna be sweet. And I love him he's slowly taking everything off. Yeah. As he talks to him more, he takes the wig off.
Yeah.
Mustache off.
Much better.
Mutton chops, and I was like, oh, there he is. There he is.
There's David Tennant. Because at first I was like, is that David?
Oh, yeah.
That is David, because I had looked at the IMDb first, so I knew who he played. And then once the hair came off, I was like, oh, there's my man. Yeah. And I loved, like, he's washing his face, and you see all the
tattoos
coming off. Like,
that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. But then he also and he gives the background of his parents. That's why he's into it now.
Well, it takes a while to get there. You're fast forwarding.
Okay, sorry.
You skipped over everything that didn't have David Tennant in it, and I understand that feeling.
That's what you've been doing.
So David Tennant basically tells the girlfriend, "Get out of here." He can't stop.
His girlfriend, his
lady.
Yes, his lady. The attitude.
Get him out. You see, so now we're back in town. And Charlie is fixing the house up. Just ready for a brawl. Got crucifixes everywhere. Just has them everywhere. It's great. And you see Wade and the other dude, and they are like, ooh, what's going on? And then all of a sudden they are very dead. Because, no, I'm sorry. I see those type of nails, and props up to the girl who did the nails for the vampires, because you did an amazing job. Very